So as you saw this morning, Jonas was mentioning the Center of Excellences that we're just starting up here in TECHNIA to deliver a full, complete solution for customers and prospects. And so the main task for me will be to try to head the manufacturing Center of Excellence portion of this. So I've been given a quick task, of course, just to try me out, see if I can manage to pitch manufacturing in 15 minutes. How about that? It's not going to be easy, but let's try. So just a little bit about my background. 11 years in Dassault Systems, mainly in manufacturing. Actually, there's a much longer history. Anders would know that. We go way back. So we started with CATIA in 99-ish something. So yeah, we were very fresh with CATIA V5. That's for sure. But let's talk about manufacturing. 3D experience manufacturing. I normally call it 3D experience manufacturing solution. DELMIA, sure, it's a fantastic word as well. Nobody understands what it means. I can tell you what DELMIA means. That means Digital Enterprise Lean Manufacturing Interactive Application. That's a tongue twister, but that's what it means. But what we want to talk about here is the digital continuity. You have seen Innovia. TECHNIA knows a lot about Innovia. TECHNIA knows a lot about CATIA. TECHNIA also now knows a lot about Simulia, because you've seen the great guys out here, presentation of the simulation stuff. And now TECHNIA can also present the manufacturing portion of the 3D experience platform. And that will be my main task and my main goal, to set this up. And that actually leads us into the digital continuity story, right? So quick, this is the manufacturing solution in a very brief overview. My main heritage, I would say, is down in the right corner for you, or left corner for you, sorry. Yeah, mirror-wise. So, exactly. So the digital manufacturing part. And that's also the legacy, I would say, from Dassault. That's where we started way back in the 2000, I think. Dassault acquired a company called Deneb over in US. And they also acquired a company called Delta down in Germany. And also another company called SafeWorks over in Canada. So those acquisitions became DELMIA. And that was the digital manufacturing part. So what do we have there? We will have the process planning, we have the robotics, we have the fabrication, we have the ergonomics, and also the collaborative manufacturing engineering. So this is the portion that is really, really connected and close to design, right? Very close to CATIA, very close to the PDM and PLM enterprise things in Innovia. So that's where all the magic happens when it's connected to the engineering. I should actually do like this, so we have a little bit better view of it. And you've seen it out here. You've seen Stian and the guys showing the digital manufacturing portion, how we go from product, we go through what we call manufacturing item definition, we create our layouts. They don't really show that, but that's a possibility as well. They create process plans and they create work instructions. So that's what you do in this portion of the applications in DELMIA. So you see we have something called product, resource, and process. That's the PPR model. And some of you might have heard the RFLP, which is in the systems engineering piece of it. And then the PPR comes into the actual manufacturing portion of it. It's the product, the process, and the resource. Those are the three things you need to think about. But moving over to one of our acquaintances as well in DELMIA, which is probably something you know about and you've heard, is the MOM piece, the acquisition of Apriso. I can't actually say how many years ago it was, but let's say it was 5 years ago or something. And that was a big portion. So adding on top of the digital manufacturing, we also added what is called MOM. Somebody maybe know what MES is. That's the manufacturing execution system. Well, Apriso is manufacturing execution and beyond that. So also adding things like traceability and quality and warehousing makes Apriso something more than actually just a manufacturing execution system, because a manufacturing execution system is normally very centralized around what's happening on the shop floor, but this also connects out of the actual facility and also goes out into warehousing and quality, so it brings the information back into the actual platform. So this is a super good tool and very qualified if you're looking into manufacturing execution part of your manufacturing. So that's also something that we really would like to talk about in the coming future, and that's what Center of Excellence is also going to handle. So we're going to handle digital manufacturing, we're going to handle the MOM piece, and we're also going to handle what is called the supply chain and supply chain planning, or I would say actually more of the schedule planning. The S&OP part is also actually a part of DELMIA, but right for now we're actually going to leave it a little bit on behind, because that's a new acquisition called Quintic. Maybe you've heard about that. It's a really big thing, and it's a big bite for us to chew here. So we'll start up a little bit more novice, and we'll do only the master planning and the detailed scheduling, which is more actually inside one plant. If you look in Quintic, it's more of an enterprise solution, looking at supply chain around the whole enterprise. The master planning with Ortums that we're looking at here is more inside the actual factory, and are looking more at the utilization and optimization of your resources inside your factory, right? We also talk about the master planning is more of a mid to short term planning. And that's what you have on the master planning here, the MPS. The detailed scheduling, of course, is more to look at the day-to-day basis and look how you're actually utilizing your resources from a day-to-day perspective. And also the ability to change. I mean, you know that a machine breaks down, or a person doesn't come to the job because he's sick, or he or she is sick. So with the help of Ortums, it's a much easier, and it's a big possibility to be able to change the work, to reschedule, to understand, okay, if we have this issue, we can reschedule the work and we can still deliver on time, because that's what it's all about, right? Time to market and deliver on time and quality. So digital continuity is to enable the future factory. You've heard the buzzwords about the digital twin. Actually, Dassault calls it the 3D experience twin. That's what I heard. And because the digital twin is actually something that a different company has mentioned. So we'll try to call it a 3D experience twin. And as you see, that comes from the actual virtual factory. So we can do the whole virtualization of our factory, of our process, our assets, and we can actually also simulate the factory virtually before we actually put, the shovel in the ground, even before we do anything, right? And then we have our real world. And the interesting thing is, with Apriso, we can deliver the information from the real world back into the virtual world, which means that we will be better and better and better. And in the end, which will of course never happen, but we will be very, very close to have an actual twin, virtual twin of our actual physical assets and production. So that's the whole idea with the DELMIA and the 3D experience manufacturing solution. Of course, together with everything that happens up front, right? With CATIA, SolidWorks, Enovia, whatever you have on that side. So this is the I would say the make-doer of whatever you've seen upstream, so to say. And also the important thing is to actually be able to deliver the information back to design, to engineers, about what actually happens down on the shop floor, right? That's the biggest possibilities that we see with this solution that we have right now. Just showing a little bit more about the possible flow that we could have. You've seen, as I said before, you've seen the process planning and all those things out there, actually in real time, so I'm not going to mention too much about it. But you see that we utilize the 3D model content, so actually what is actually designed from your engineers. You can actually also have a configured 3D model, which means that you can have a lot of variants embedded, right? So we can take care of that in our configured bill of material, our configured manufacturing bill of material. So you can have what we call 150% structure, and you can work with that. And that's a huge benefit, not having to work with what we call the resolve structures. So you can utilize and you can reuse whatever you have done before. And then you can create your process plan, yet again, also a configured process plan. Of course, and then we can create our work instructions. This is where a lot of customers see a huge benefit, to be able to have your work instructions created here in a configured environment, which is change managed. That's a horror. Which is change managed as well. So which means you get a change on the engineering side, and you will directly see that going all the way down to manufacturing, all the way down to your work instructions. I mean, normally what we see at customers is that, yeah, we create a snapshot of something in CATIA or whatever CAD system we have, we put it on a PowerPoint, and then we print it out and we hand it out to the shop floor. Well, that's great. What do you do when you have an update? Well, we do it again. Okay, that sounds very effective. Well, go ahead, good job. So, you see where I'm coming at, and I'm not gonna go further. So when we create our work instructions, we actually review, approve our work instructions, and we publish those to our MES system, or MOM system that I talked about before, Apriso in this case. So Apriso gets an order from ERP, saying, okay, this is what we're gonna build. And Apriso takes the work instruction for this specific product that we're gonna build and say, okay, here's what I'm gonna build, here's the order, let's execute. And that's what we're gonna do.